Okay. Moving on to the wickedly talented Adele Dazeem, the movie that has swept the world and has left a cultural blitzkrieg in its wake.
It really was a
Frozen.
blitzkrieg. It was indeed a blitzkrieg.
Let's talk
That's
about
the
Frozen.
best
I really
way.
don't think we have anything innovative to say.
No, everything's already been said. I guess my hot take for Frozen is I don't like Olaf.
Wow, that's really fresh. I've never heard that before.
Yeah. And the man I was talking about earlier
Was Kristoff?
was Kristoff.
Yes, I called it. I called it. Yes.
I cannot stand this man. He's
And he's
such
the only prince voiced by a gay dude.
and it sucks.
I know.
But like he's such a nice guy. You know? Do you know what I'm
Do
talking
you remember
about?
that meme? Do you remember the meme that was like, "Nice guys finish last. That's why I'll treat you like trash. It's not what I really want to do, but
Yeah, but he's like he doesn't treat, Anna like trash, but like it's just
no.
everything he
Maybe I
does.
wanted to treat him like trash. But anyway,
Yeah. It's just like everything he does feels like it's just in service of making Anna like him.
yeah.
And it's so
I think we're on a similar wavelength about that, but I'll get to my thoughts in a minute.
yeah, and I
I'm sorry. I keep
hate
interrupting like an asshole.
it's okay, I do it too. We both do it. We're both assholes, it's fine. Um Yeah, I don't like Kristoff. I just don't like him. And I hate that stupid like voice he does for Sven.
Yes.
I despise it.
It's also
Um
offensive to the Sami people, but yeah.
yeah. But you know who the best character was? The fucking
Who?
shopkeep with the sauna.
Oaken.
That family, amazing. Best characters.
Do you
Um
think he's gay or
yes.
okay, because I swear I thought I saw a woman in there who looked like a suitable age to be with that guy.
Nah.
But I'm
I think
accepting
that was
it.
his
I'm
husband.
accepting it the way the internet has accepted it. So,
Yeah. And I will say I do like Frozen. I do like Frozen, besides Kristoff. I like it as a story, like rather than being a love story, it's very much a story about two sisters repairing their very damaged relationship.
and it
And
does feel pretty psychological.
it does. At some points you could even like if you just like look at it a certain way, it could be a thriller movie. Like
Yeah.
there's some wild shit.
Yeah.
The whole like speech that bad guy McGee does whenever he was like, "Oh, Anna, if only there was someone out there who loved you." Like
Ah, ginger mutton chops. I know
that's
exactly who you're talking about.
that is such a bar. He killed it with that one.
He did. He did.
He both killed it in the fact that that was a bar, and he killed it because he nearly killed Anna.
Oh, that reminds me. That reminds me. If we're going between Anna and Elsa's father, King Agnar, Kristoff, Prince Hans, and his 12 older brothers, I think I'll
Mhm.
go for the 12 brothers.
Yeah, I dare say he probably deserved to be bullied by his 12 older brothers.
Yes.
Also, I am curious. What do you think about the Tarzan conspiracy with this movie?
I think it's a fucking stretch.
Okay,
It's a stretch.
I agree that it is a stretch, but it is also fun.
I mean, people really only vindicate it because one of the directors, Chris Buck, he worked on Tarzan, and that's
Yeah,
why people give it any validity whatsoever, but I don't buy it.
yeah. I just think it's fun.
Yeah. But I do believe that Rapunzel is related to Anna and
Oh,
Elsa.
100%. I mean, weren't they going to Rapunzel's wedding?
That part I'm also wishy-washy about. It makes that, you remember they did that short for Tangled, where it was
The
Rapunzel
like
and
the
Eugene's wedding.
yeah.
They died while that horse and chameleon were trying to get their rings. Think about that for a moment. Think
Yeah, but
about that
I'm
for a moment.
yeah. But I mean, they were going somewhere.
They were.
So,
I
I
think
don't know
the
for
I
sure.
think the show Once Upon a Time, they framed it as they were going somewhere to learn about Anna and Elsa's powers. I mean
Okay,
Elsa's
but
powers. Fuck.
but Once Upon a Time isn't canon.
I mean I kind of treat it like canon sometimes, but but I know the creators
Also,
weren't
I've only
involved. Whatever.
watched the first season of Once Upon a Time, so I don't
Okay. Here's
I
here's the
don't
big
remember
thing.
a
Here's the
lot.
big thing. Frozen came up in the 4th season, like very
Uh-huh.
first thing, and the first half was spent with Anna, Elsa, Kristoff, Hans, everyone except Olaf, which is great. Um,
Which is amazing.
yes, but then the second half it got really cringe when they brought in like Maleficent, Ursula, and Cruella de Vil as like the 3 bad queens of darkness.
Mhm.
Like they wrapped up the Frozen plot line and then they put those 3 in, and it was just kind of it was a sad trade. But the Frozen part I really enjoyed, actually.
Mhm.
That's what got me into that show. But anyway,
But yeah, I like Frozen, and honestly, music numbers kind of slap.
yeah,
I mean, is it the best?
no,
I don't think so. But why have a ballroom with no balls? Hilarious.
I want to stuff some chocolate in my face. Genius.
Genius. Genius lyric writing, guys. And as overplayed as Let It Go is, I do think it's a good song. And I put Frozen in A tier.
Okay, so that's second from the top.
Yes.
Okay. Okay,
I
so
put it above Tangled.
how dare you? How dare you? I only have one Disney princess movie in between those 2 movies. But anyway, this was the first Disney film that I actually listened to the soundtrack before I watched the movie.
Same. Yeah. I listened to the soundtrack before I watched the movie.
And I did enjoy them quite a bit. I feel like something weird happened when I saw them on screen. Especially for the first time in forever. That played out much differently than I thought it would. But I feel like there's a trajectory that's like pre-Frozen and post-Frozen that shaped so many people's lives.
Post Frozen is the stuff of my nightmares.
Yes. Why are we living in this world?
We live in a post Frozen world. And it's disgusting.
Yes. It's disgusting. Disgusting. But I will say one thing that I picked up on when I watched it for the very first time that I still carry on to this day is that I think I wanted it to be more Norwegian than it than it really was.
I will. Okay, actually, now that you've reminded me, I need to move Frozen down to B tier because Frozen was so goddamn popular, they took away Maelstrom.
Oh, you're one of those people.
Fuck you. Maelstrom was a good ride. It
I
was one
never
of the
went on it because
few.
I hate tall
Really,
flume rides.
it's not a tall flume ride.
But it has a
There's
drop,
only one drop. There is one drop,
and
and
I
it's
don't like
not that
drops.
bad. It's at most Pirates of the Caribbean level drop.
I hated the Pirates of the Caribbean drop as well. Your point is?
Well, then you're a pussy.
Fuck you.
No, fuck you. Maelstrom deserved better. It was the one thing in the World Pavilion that was actually good.
Did I ever tell you about the time I went on Space Mountain for the first
Except for the
time?
Kim Possible like scavenger hunt. But what was that? What was Space Mountain?
Yeah, the first time I went on Space Mountain, I was 15 years old, and I screamed for as long as the vehicle went down to ground level.
You want to hear something funny?
What?
I was 6 years old when I first rode Tower of Terror, and I loved it.
And you loved it. You were like,
And I
please,
loved
mother,
it.
father, one more go. One more again.
I love Tower of Terror. And I love Space Mountain,
And
and
I'm
I
a
love Big
pussy.
Thunder
We've
Mountain,
established this. Go on.
and I also love Splash Mountain. As a ride, not Song of the South.
Never went on it.
Yeah, you wouldn't like it because you're a pussy.
Yes.
um,
You are the one person that I will allow to insult me on this recording. Everyone else, back off. Raeley, just razz
Like,
the shit out of me.
I get cousin privileges.
Yes.
I get family privileges. But yeah, Maelstrom, it's literally one of the it's one of my core memories. Like the troll going, back over the falls is so good.
You live for that 5 seconds.
I live for that 5 seconds where you literally it literally turns the boat around and you go backwards down like a tiny hill.
Yes.
And it's so cool.
Oh, and they also had that peak outside while your
the
vehicle
peak
was
outside, yeah.
touring.
And there's another troll that kind of pops up a little bit and you see its eye.
Yeah.
And it was genuinely so cool. But then they closed it up and they just got rid of all the cool Norwegian history and mythology, and they just replaced it with shitty Frozen animatronics.
Really? I hate to
Yes.
break this to you, but they already did that with Mexico, and we loved the change.
Look, Three Caballeros is different. And to be
It's not a
fair,
billion-dollar franchise.
listen, Three Caballeros, you actually get a taste of, Hispanic history and culture.
Oh yes, that is one of my favorite queue areas, I guess.
Yes.
The whole Mexican town.
Frozen, however, you don't. The Frozen ride sucks, and I will die on that hill. So for that reason, it goes in B tier.
For me, it lives up to its predecessor in that I've not gone on it. I probably never will go on it, but
it has the same exact track layout of Maelstrom.
It does, and that's probably why I don't. Because I'm a pussy. Anyway. I'm sorry that I can't go on this journey with you, but
no, thank you for reminding me that Frozen needed to be moved down. You know what? Fuck it. Tangled is better than Frozen.
Yes! This is the best day ever!
Just for Maelstrom. Listen, Maelstrom was literally my childhood.
Yeah, the only representation for Tangled we have in the Florida parks is a couple of bathrooms.
and a pavilion. The Fantasyland expansion it's they have the town square.
Yes, that's what I mean, the bathrooms.
Yeah, the bathrooms, and there's a little town square.
And a little place to charge your phone.
Yeah. Very convenient if you ask me.
Very convenient, but they didn't destroy any traditional classic rides. I'm still pissed that they got rid of Snow White, but
is that
and they literally
is that what replaced is that what they replaced with Winnie the Pooh?
No. Winnie the Pooh was there in 99. They got rid of Mr. Toad's Wild Ride with Winnie the Pooh.
Yes, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Yeah, that's one you're happy about.
Well, I watched a retrospective on the ride, and it seems like it would have been a fun ride.
Yeah, but now
it's gone.
But now it's gone.
I probably would have liked the ride more than I the movie. Because I'm more I like rides. I love Splash Mountain, but do I like Song of the South? Hell no.
I mean, I agree with you, but the only thing I can say in that ride's favor is that we haven't watched the movie, so we haven't formed our own opinions about it.
I mean, I've watched Song of the South.
Oh my god, you have?
Yeah,
And?
it's exactly what you think it is.
Oh my god.
It's
I
practically rewriting what slavery actually was.
yes.
And also, the actor who played Uncle Remus
Yes,
didn't
I
even get to go to the movie's premiere
no, he didn't. He
because it
didn't.
was
And
segregated.
yeah, that was really stupid of Walt.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
And
fucked up.
he won an Academy Award after
An
before or after he
honorary.
passed away.
While he was still alive, he won an honorary one. He couldn't win an actual one because he was black.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wild. Can we just talk about how it's wild that they made Song of the South around the same time that they made one of our favorite movies?
Which one? Which one did
The
they
Three
make?
Caballeros.
The Three Caballeros? Fuck. And one was infinitely better than the other one.
Yeah. But anyway, the point where we got on all this was that Snow White, it got replaced by that Princess Fairy Tale Hall attraction.
Yes.
And I'm still angry at them about that. I don't even care that we got a roller coaster. I want both.
Well, I mean, the thing with the fucking mine train is that it's not even like it doesn't even use its space effectively.
No, I've thought about that since day one.
Yeah, like it's, ugh.
Like,
Don't get me started on the fucking theme parks because I'll go off
well,
about the theme parks for hours.
here's one. Here, let me be a ride doctor for once.
More than one show scene.
More than one show scene, but I think that could have been accomplished by having that second lift hill, you know, where they have the silhouettes of the dwarves marching up the hill. We could have had that be a spiraling funnel and then drop.
Yeah.
Instead of a straight incline.
And I dare say, honestly, make it a little curvier.
Yeah.
So, it doesn't take up a whole bunch of space, but it can still be longer.
Yes. Because it's like what, 2 minutes?
Yeah.
That's what made me very sad.
It takes up so much space, despite only being 2 minutes.
Yeah. Also, can I just add that, like, the conceit of that ride is actually pretty funny to me, because the Disney rides, the Disney theme park attractions, they're all about giving you these otherworldly experiences.
Uh-huh.
And the duration probably doesn't matter as much on some of them. Like Peter Pan, I don't mind it being as short as it is. But
yeah, because it's just supposed to be like a quick run through of the movie.
Yeah, yeah. But with Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, it doesn't really have a plot, so you're basically just riding through a bunch of people's day job.
Yeah.
It's like if they made a dark ride based on The Office or something.
Like the difference between something like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and Big Thunder Mountain is that Big Thunder Mountain, there's like a whole like world, like tangible world that you are interacting with as you go through the queue. Like there's all this stuff about like the Big Thunder Mining Company and how, this thing has been abandoned and there's so much just there even in just the queue. And then when you actually go through,
I don't think the plot is the
thing.
problem. I don't think the plot's the problem. I think it's that in Big Thunder Mountain you're an seemingly active participant in the story.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's
okay.
You are part of this story, but then with Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, you're just in a mine cart.
You're just an observer.
And you see a literal silhouette of the dwarfs. Like
Yes.
It's just there's not a good reason to write it.
I mean, again, unless you're a Snow White stan, in which case,
yeah, unless you're like a
write it
Snow
5
White
times.
super fan.
Yes.
But I mean, for someone like me who actually like just likes rides, I come to Disney for rides that are a new experience. But there's nothing fun about a ride that has very little theming.
I mean,
and Mine Train doesn't have that much theming.
I mean,
It's
I like
stylized.
the aesthetic. I like the
It's
aesthetic. I like the flow. I like the vibes. Like
but you're
on an
also
aesthetic
a
level, I love.
pussy.
No, I love that ride. I love that ride. I've been on it front, back, middle. I've been on it always,
Yes.
and I do enjoy it.
Didn't
I'm
we
not a
write
pussy
it
on that
for the
ride.
first time together?
I don't remember.
Cuz I remember our grandma got like fast passes for it or something.
I
That
remember
one
that I
trip that we
rode it
took
with my
together.
youngest brother. I rode it with my youngest brother, and it was a really crowded line because even in 2023 that ride still has really long wait times.
Yeah, for
Um,
some reason.
for some reason. Um, and they were looking for a party of two that one day, and I
Mhm.
volunteered my brother and I, and we got like the very last row of seats in the end car.
That's fun.
And at the time I did not know about the hell that I'd put myself through.
Yeah, back row is definitely a choice for someone like you.
That's where the whiplash is. I don't like that.
Uh-huh.
Put
Yeah,
me in the
it's
front
because you have
forever.
like the full weight of the rest of the train pulling you forwards.
Yes.
Sorry, you didn't ask for a physics lesson. Never mind.
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you, doctor. But
Sorry, I'm a big physics nerd.
I know. But the best part was that sitting behind this grandmother and her grandson.
Mhm.
And as soon as we got up to the second incline, I started going like, "Oh no!" And I was like being genuine. I wasn't like I wasn't trying to hype it up for my brother. I was genuinely like, "Holy crap."
That's so funny.
I know. So the first time I wrote it, I was a pussy. But like but then the best thing happened. We went to Magic Kingdom the 10th of January this year. Only one
Mhm.
day. Well, it was the best decision because it was the least crowded that week.
Yeah.
But we still had to deal with like people running like marathons at the park and all things like that. But
Yeah.
I actually got to go on that ride twice. And
Oh,
the
nice.
first time we did it, they hadn't started running the fireworks show technically. Like they include like projection mapping on the castle and stuff like that, but they didn't put that on yet. But the fireworks went off as we were in line and going on the ride.
Oh, that's fun.
I know. And then we sat in like the back area where the cottage is and stuff. We sat
Mhm.
back there for like 4 to 5 minutes just watching them go off, and I was like, this day has been absolute hell, but this is like the best thing that could possibly happen.
Yeah.
That's Disney
Okay.
magic
I
right
I
there.
can't I can't keep talking about the parks, or I might start talking about other
Okay.
parks, and it's
Okay. 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 Okay, back to
machism
Frozen.
is
Back to Frozen.
strong.
Back to Frozen. Back to Frozen. Oh my god. That was wonderful though.
Yeah,
Um
that's really nice.
yes. Let's see, Frozen. Anything else I have to say about Frozen? I think I used to hate it a lot more than I do now.
I mean, I think I know that I hated it, mostly because of how intensely it was pushed after it
Mhm.
released. It was
Mhm.
everywhere. Like, I can't overstate how everywhere Frozen was.
Yeah, well also I
Um,
just hated that everyone acted like this was the greatest Disney movie of all time.
yeah.
When in fact
Um,
I've been reading reports that they finally completed like the story development process 6 months before it premiered.
that is kind of funny.
I know. And it's weird, like apparently Disney gets success when they do rush jobs. I don't know.
Yeah. It means they didn't overthink it.
They didn't overthink it, but then they did the same thing I think kind of with Pinocchio, but that didn't work out very well.
um,
No, but anyway, I think a lot of those things I was very resentful about it, and also because they kept treating Anna like the beta and Elsa like the alpha for being a girl
yeah.
boss.
Yeah.
Like that, it's that weird kind of feminism where it's like we favor the introvert, anxious cranky bitches and the ones who are more traditional, not necessarily conservative, but maybe their ambitions aren't as high. We hated those bitches.
Yeah, like I mean, Anna just wants to find her true love, and yet for some reason that's looked down upon.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Well, and it's
but
like they both were gaslit and sheltered as
yeah,
kids, and yet
they
we're
were
like, yes,
both
Elsa,
hella
go off, let it
they were both
go.
hella emotionally neglected as
Yes,
children, and they just dealt with it in different ways.
yes,
And yeah, Anna was for real gaslit about what even happened between her and her sister. Um, and Elsa was blamed for it, even though it was a genuine accident. You know, like kids do.
yeah.
She was a child.
And actually, I hate to admit it, but Anna is probably the Disney princess I identify with the most.
I mean, that's fair.
And I honestly, prior to last year, I probably wouldn't say that, but I kind of got catfished. So,
I mean, I do like Anna. I like Anna.
yeah, I
She's
just
likable.
I know. I'm just saying that, like, maybe we should go easy on her
Yeah, I
and
think
go
she
easy on me.
deserves she deserves some softer treatment.
Yes. And I think we got that in the sequel, but
Yeah.
because it's weird, like I feel like this was probably more like Elsa's movie, and yet she really isn't in it that much.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird because yeah, in Frozen, Anna is ostensibly the main character, but it's more so about Elsa.
Yeah, like the focus isn't on her really.
Yeah. And then it's like it's the opposite for Frozen 2.
Yeah. Or is it the other way around? That's a weird thing. They have a weird way of like interweaving their
Yeah.
character motivations and conflicts and stuff.
Yeah. It's just interesting.
Yeah. But with that,
But
I'm
anyway, fuck Kristoff. We're done.
Fuck Kristoff, even though he's voiced by Jonathan Groff, who I would probably nail if he was, into plus-sized men. But anyway, um I put it in the respect and appreciate tier.
I put it right next to Tangled.
Before or after?
After.
Okay. We're cool then.
It currently my B tier is Wreck-It Ralph, Tangled, Frozen, and then Winnie the Pooh 2011.
Okay. Okay. So then we move on to Big Hero 6.
Okay. I like Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Big Hero 6 was an interesting choice to adapt. First of all, I put it in A tier. I think it's a great movie. I think we all cried when Tadashi went into that building.
Yeah, that's another real hunk right there.
Yeah, I think we all love Tadashi.
Yes.
And then he died.
And then he
Spoilers.
died.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good movie with how it deals with grief and how, I mean, obviously it's not the same as emotional pain, but it's still pain that you need to, treat and
Mm-hmm.
deal with. And of course, Baymax, honestly, great design.
Great
I think it's
design.
amazing. I don't know. It's just a good movie. It's a feel good movie. You watch it, and
I feel like it's a recover from grief movie, but yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I mean, it's a recover from grief movie, and when you watch it again, it's still going to give you mostly good feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like it deserves to be an A tier.
Yeah. So I wasn't really into Marvel before this movie came out.
Unlike me.
Unlike you, I was not a comic book reading individual. Uh, that being said, I do think it defies that criticism. I think it is a pretty well made film. Story is really
Mhm.
solid. Characters are great.
I think the
Uh,
setting of San Francisco is hilarious.
oh, that's the best. That's
I
the
think that's
best.
amazing.
Yes, the best. The the something happened, I guess, between 2014 and 2018, which was the 2014 was the last year that I saw Disney movies regularly in a movie theater, and then I didn't watch any again until 2018, which was a mistake.
Yeah.
I apologize for that. Um, because that year, 2014, I watched Big Hero 6 and Maleficent.
Uh-huh.
And I watched Maleficent with our grandmother.
Man, maybe we should talk about the live action remakes.
some point.
Some
Some
point we should
point.
talk about the live action remakes.
Yeah, but that was I feel like I was more comfortable with that one than she was.
Yeah.
But Big Hero 6, that was the last movie that I actually wept about not being able to
Mhm.
see before I actually went and saw it.
Yeah.
And let me state that not only am I a pussy, but I cried over not being able to see that movie when I was 15 years old.
Loser.
I know, I'm pathetic. Throw rocks at me.
Can't even ride Maelstrom. What a loser.
Screams at the top of his lungs on Space Mountain. Ugh. Oh my god, come on.
No.
I'm just a softie, that's all. Be a little generous.
No.
Fuck you. Well, let's see. I feel like I was more interested in like the technology aspect of this movie. Like that was something that I really wanted them to explore more. You know, not just chalk it up to like a montage with a Fall Out Boy song.
Yeah, I will say I agree.
Mhm.
However, they did also have a story they needed to tell.
They did have a story they needed to tell,
So
and it
I'm
was more
willing to
important.
excuse it simply for the fact that Immortals is a banger. um
Uh,
I think Immortals is a banger.
I guess it just
Um
it depends on how it's performed, I think.
yeah. If it's performed with the right energy, I think it's good.
Yeah. Like they put that show into like another projection show event at Disneyland,
Uh-huh.
and it's a very, you know how in like they have that meme about choirs taking the pop energy out of pop songs.
Yeah.
It's very that.
Oh my god.
But Patrick Stump, you go.
You go, man.
You go. Yeah, I feel like I should have more complaints. Like the ending, it was. Oh! I do have something. I do have something. Um, so this is the first CG Disney animated film to have like like a noticeably diverse cast,
Yeah.
and
I
I
mean, the main character is Asian American.
he's Asian American, but I want to make a point of that because
You have an Asian American lead, and then
yes, yes,
one of the other main people is Asian American. Then
yes,
you have a Latina, and
yeah,
then there is a black male, and
yes,
then there's a white guy.
and then there's T.J. Miller.
You know? But yeah, I mean, I feel like it is a very noticeably diverse cast.
Yeah.
And it's really great, honestly, because they show them all being super nerdy,
Yeah, yeah. But
which is great.
yes, and the point I was trying to make with that is that I thought about how in Frozen they did put in a few diverse extras, particularly in like Elsa's coronation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it was weird to me because everybody who wasn't a main character looked like they were from like a Sony movie. Like they were from Despicable Me or something.
Please, not Despicable Me.
Did you not see it? Like especially like the more plus-sized women.
Yeah, it is a little funny.
They it didn't look right to me, but uh I noticed that instantly. But And then Entangled, it's like everyone looks pretty. So it's
Yeah.
like I don't know how to feel about that. Um,
Except for the people who are like, except for Gothel, everyone who's like a bad guy looks ugly.
no, I think she's pretty fine.
I said everyone except for Gothel.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So like besides Gothel, everyone who is supposed to be bad looks ugly.
Yeah. I mean, I'd still smash the Stabbington brothers.
I would not.
We're missing an epic opportunity to play a game of Smash or Pass with this.
It would be really funny to play Smash or Pass.
But I feel like that's too trivial for the purposes of this series. Maybe at some point I'll think about
At
it.
some point, some like special episode.
Yes, a Valentine's Day episode. But yeah, how about I put it like this? On my list right now, from the bottom to where we are now with Big Hero 6, my list goes Princess and the Frog, Winnie the Pooh, Wreck-It Ralph, Big Hero 6, Frozen, and Tangled. It's weird that like the sci-fi is where the line is drawn for me this time.
Yeah. Honestly, kind of the same for me. Because Big Hero 6 is my one separating
Yeah.
Princess and the Frog from everything else.
Yeah. Well, it's like compared to Wreck-It Ralph, I actually prefer Big Hero 6 more.
Yeah, I prefer Big Hero 6 to Wreck-It Ralph. 100%.
Yeah. All right. Well, I feel like we talked about it and yet we didn't talk about much, but that's okay. We know it's a really good movie. So, all right. So then we move on to Zootopia.
Zootopia. So this is the other movie that talked about race.
Explicitly.
Very explicitly. It does not beat around the bush like Princess and the Frog does.
Mm-hmm.
It is explicitly about predators versus prey.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very obvious that they're talking about race.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it does a pretty good job. And Nick is way better than any of the other guys on this list.
Wow. Even the bad ones?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think Nick is the best guy on this list.
I mean, I'd probably agree, but the fact that we gave it to a fox.
I know.
Like, I'm not a furry, but like, yes.
Yeah. Judy is like a little annoying at the beginning, but like by the middle of the movie, I think she's pretty endearing.
Mm-hmm. Is she the most girl boss? Like, she's literally
up
like
there.
pro law enforcement.
Yeah,
so-
she's pro law enforcement, so like that kind of like takes her down a little bit.
Yeah.
But she is actively reforming the system.
She is.
So I think she deserves some kudo points for that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she is girl bossing. But she's not Mother Gothel level of girl bossing. She's not the mother, you know? Like
Mother.
she's not that level.
No.
She's definitely girl bossing. And I will say my favorite of the like callbacks in this movie is the way that Judy uses the pen to, record a confession from the villain. I do think that's one of the funniest callbacks.
Yes.
And then of course, you got Nick pretending to go feral.
Yeah.
And I think that was nice. And like the way they worked together to like bring down this villain.
Do you feel like that theme of like reforming and overcoming stereotypes, do you feel like it was a bit heavy-handed, or do you think they handled it in a good way?
At times it feels heavy-handed, but I don't think it is throughout the entire movie.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I'm thinking like certain points where like that one point where Judy does like that press conference, and like it's like where the point where like they break up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Where like
Yes,
she
yes,
says
yes.
something that's like very racist.
Yes. Which is why my favorite scene is when they get back together.
Yes, when they get back together, it's the best. Yeah, that after that press conference, I feel like that's where it gets like the most heavy-handed.
Mm-hmm.
Because she says something about predators, and then Nick is like rightfully upset about it. And when he goes to like kind of approach her, her first instinct is to like pull out the pepper spray.
Yes.
And I feel like that's where I think that's where it gets the most heavy-handed. But after that, I feel like it kind of it gets better.
Yeah. And well, I was just thinking because in this era we have I think 3 best animated feature winners,
Mm-hmm.
and of the 3, this one feels the most specific to the time in which it was made.
I feel like Zootopia is still applicable,
It is, unfortunately.
which is insane. Like even in the year of our Lord 2023,
Yes.
Zootopia is still should be watched by more people.
Yes. But I mean like the conflicts that were going on at the time I think contributed to it being recognized compared to
Mm-hmm.
like Frozen and Big Hero 6.
Yeah.
And the fact that the world got darker afterwards.
Upsetting.
Very, very upsetting. I
mean,
just
come on, we had Shakira as a gazelle. Guys.
I would just want everyone to appreciate the love I have for my Zootopia.
I think actually I wish they would have made her a wolf
Why?
because then she could sing She Wolf.
This actually this funny you should say that because this funny you should say that because this isn't really helping my case with claiming I'm not a furry, but her backup dancers.
Oh yes,
Oh my
100%. I
god.
agree with you.
Oh my god.
Why'd they make them sexy?
I don't know, but I I I I
One of the fun things about this movie is the way they changed the news anchors for the different
yeah.
countries.
Yes.
That was a cute little detail, and it's very fun. Like the red panda,
Yeah.
or like
That means
some
I
of the
have to
other
go buy
ones.
the Japanese edition and the UK edition and the Canadian edition, and I have to go.
Yeah, it was a great money making tactic.
Yes. I'm
But it
sorry.
was also just a cute detail that
Yes, yes, it
was
was.
really nice. But yeah, Zootopia, good movie. I think more people should watch it. And Nick is the best man.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I put it in the respect and appreciate tier above Frozen.
Yeah, I put it in S tier right next to Princess and the Frog.
Okay. All right. And finally, we have reached Moana.
Moana. First of all, I put this right next to Big Hero 6 in A tier.
Mm-hmm.
I really like this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I like the road trip aspect. It really does feel like a girl's, road to self-discovery and like reconnecting with her culture and, who she is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just a really beautiful tale that's also shown throughout, it's shown with Polynesian mythology.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool. And yeah, I really this is completely unrelated, but I also really like some of the art that came out after this movie, where it was like Moana and Ariel being girlfriends.
Yeah, the fans really stepped up their game.
Yeah, I found that one really cute.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I
Somebody,
liked that.
I hate to spill this sort of tea on a really classy podcast like mine, but
Uh-huh.
I will say that while the world was in shambles 2 years ago,
What do you mean it's still in shambles?
I know, but at least we can go outside of our houses this time.
Yeah.
I recall that there was a certain content creator, a certain animated content creator. And I was referring to this person when I talked about that Milo and Tarzan ship.
Mm-hmm.
They were in production on a similar piece about Moana and Ariel, but they were gender swapped.
Mm.
And unfortunately, and this was actually an idea that I gave to this person. And like the scenario that they were going to have play out in this animation was something that I had shared with them. And unfortunately, it has not seen the light of day.
That sucks.
It sucks. But I still have access to the production art that was shared. It's just I can't really post it anywhere except Twitter. So we're in agreement. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I'm glad.
Yes. And on that note, let's get to my thoughts. I think this is the latest Disney movie that I would consider truly great. I really do. Everything else up since has been like subpar and very like in your face about how they're like trying to cash in on popular franchises and
Ralph breaks the internet.
Yes. Frozen 2.
I don't know. I liked Frozen 2, but that's me.
Compared to Ralph Breaks the Internet, yes, it is way better, but the last great Disney movie I think that has been made is Moana.
Yeah.
And I don't think
the beginning of the end, if you will.
The beginning of the end, and that's why I split this extra era up.
Yeah.
Because I could tell there was a significant difference. And I hate to attribute it to John Clements and Ron Musker, but this does feel a bit like a Disney Renaissance movie as well. So, like the dynamic between Moana and Maui is very much like Aladdin and Genie. So,
honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a fun dynamic.
It is. It really is.
And I do think The Rock was a good choice of voice actor.
I like him as an actor. As a singer.
I mean, not for the singing, no.
No. That was
but
a mistake.
as Maui's voice actor, yes.
Yeah, he had the right kind of personality to provide.
Yes, he has the right personality.
And what's worse is that it's going to be brought to the fourth dimension.
Don't remind me.
It's you know what, I'm going to tell you right up front. It's not this remake is not because of Disney trying to capitalize on everything that's given them success. This is because of The Rock.
Yeah.
This is because of Black Adam. And I think that it's really petty and egocentric, and I don't like this move.
I don't get why he was Black Adam. Because, like, he's not Egyptian, right?
No, he's Samoan.
Yeah, he's Samoan. Black Adam is Egyptian.
But it doesn't matter, because then he would have gotten into the superhero game with that.
It's just, I don't... Again, I'm a Marvel fan, so I know these things.
I'm only a Marvel fan because of Chris Evans.
I think the MCU is a mess anyway, but The Rock was not the Band-Aid that the MCU needed.
No.
I mean, whenever he was introduced to the Fast and Furious movies, that was when they started going downhill for me.
Yeah. When the last great thing I can remember about the MCU is giving proper attention and care to America's ass. That was the last thing that I really cared about. I'm being completely earnest with you right now. After that, I didn't really pay attention to the whole showdown. I know it was trying to be epic, but I didn't really feel much else.
Mm-hmm.
I hated when they gave Steve the old guy makeup.
Yeah.
I hated that they made him come back to Peggy instead of Bucky. But that's a personal thing. That's not in the film. But
Steve and Bucky, my number ones.
I was almost about to say this. That's for me. That's like on the level of your Parks rants, but I'm not passionate enough about Marvel to get into those, so I wouldn't know what I'm talking about other than
I am passionate enough about Marvel to go into the amount of tension they have,
I
bro.
know. But I'm over here just being like, wouldn't it be great if Chris Evans and Sebastian Stan were a thing? But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Moana.
Moana.
Moana. Surprisingly, I feel like I don't recall a lot of people talking about it when it came out.
I didn't really hear people talking about it until after it came out. Like once it came out, people were all over it.
Yeah, but dark clouds were forming as it was
Yeah.
out. So that also is why I have a bad knee-jerk reaction to Greatest Showman, but we don't have to get into that here.
I'm just glad Hugh Jackman's living his best life right now.
Me too.
He's starring
Me
in so
too.
many musicals, and he looks so happy doing it.
And still
I
so
love that for
handsome.
him. Yeah, he's still handsome. I'm so happy for him.
Yes.
Let that man be in more musicals. Keep casting him, please.
Yes, and also keep that that ghost singer on Never Enough. Keep giving her more stuff to do.
But okay, no more, no Greatest Showman
Oh,
tangent.
and
Otherwise, I will
Zendaya.
go
Zendaya.
insane.
That's it. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Zendaya. Give her more stuff to do.
Give
But anyway,
Zendaya
back to
more.
Moana. Just a beautiful, beautiful movie, thematically, visually, musically. I mean, I think Lin-Manuel Miranda kind of went a little crazy, but like,
Some of
not
these
as much as
songs,
I'm hearing about the Little Mermaid remake.
some of these songs, you can tell Lin-Manuel Miranda wrote them.
Yes.
You can even
I think the
hear
best ones are where you can't tell.
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Do you agree? Like you think the best songs are the ones where you can't tell his fingerprint?
I think the best. I think the best songs are the ones where you can't tell that it was him who wrote them.
Okay.
If we were talking about Hamilton, no, you need Lin-Manuel Miranda to be obvious whenever you're doing Hamilton because it is ostensibly his show. It is his brainchild.
Yes.
It would not be Hamilton without Lin-Manuel Miranda's like signature sound and style.
The fact that he has to strain to sing sometimes.
At least it's not as bad as Brendan Urie.
What? What?
Do you not hear how that man strains to reach?
I hear it
his
when
notes?
he is not. I hear it when he's performing live, and I heard it in Viva Las Vengeance. But did you listen to Viva Las Vengeance?
Yeah, it sucked.
Okay, yes, you're right. It did suck.
Look, man, he doesn't know how to actually understand his own range.
Well, no, because everyone is so shook by him that he's like, "Oh, let me push it to the limit. Take me to the limit, so to speak." And we're all like, "Please, you can stop."
Yeah, and he's ruined his vocal cords with that kind of stuff. So,
yes.
Yeah. So, no, I will not be backpedaling on what I said.
I understand where you're coming from, but if we're talking like his entire discography, then I will disagree with you.
Well, yeah, because he had people who actually understood his own vocal range better than he did,
yes.
who were writing his songs. And then he drove them away and then kept using the same name, even though he drove the people who actually made the band good.
Okay. I'm sorry. We both love Moana, but I need to pivot just to ask you, what do you think was his last great album? Or like what was your latest favorite?
I need to look up their discography real quick.
There are 7 albums.
Yeah, there's 7 albums. I would say Too Weird to Live, Too Rare to Die.
Okay.
That's like the last one where I was like really, yeah.
Yeah. Where I was really, yeah.
But I mean, Death of a Bachelor was good. But I mean, it's not on the same level to me.
No. Death of a Bachelor was the last one that I really enjoyed.
I think that's how it is for me. It's the last one that I like enjoyed.
Yeah.
But it's yeah.
Wow, and you actually went later than me. I think Vices and Virtues was my favorite.
I mean, yeah.
But I understand
I
that
was
it's
being
him trying to be
generous.
like Old Time Panic, which he didn't have to do, but like I just appreciate what he did with it.
Yeah, I'm being generous with Too
Yeah.
Weird to Live, Too Rare to Die.
Okay.
If I'm being really honest, it's Vices and Virtues.
Yes. Oh my gosh, we finally finally agree.
Look, Ballad of Mona Lisa is so good to me.
Pretty much every
Um,
track and every bonus track is a winner,
yeah.
except for Memories. That's a little on the nose sometimes. but but I love that. Anyway, back to Moana.
Back to Moana.
Uh, I'm so sorry. I think the reason why we're pivoting so much is because this is like Frozen. Everything that we could say about it has already been
Has
said,
already
and
been
everyone is
said.
correct.
Yeah. Um, I don't have a lot of meaningful commentary that I can add to Moana.
No, other than like, I want to live in this world.
Yeah. More people should watch it. You should watch it if you haven't watched it yet.
Abso-fucking-lutely. And
Same with Big Hero
maybe
6.
don't
Same with
watch.
Zootopia. Um, you should
Yes,
watch it.
yes, and maybe don't watch the remake, but definitely keep your ears peeled on that.
Keep your peepers peeped.
Yes. Oh man. Well, I guess with that out of the way, going through our lists from bottom to top.
Okay. So we got Winnie the Pooh 2011, um, Frozen, Tangled, Wreck-It Ralph. Those are all in B tier.
Okay.
Moana, Big Hero 6. Those two are in A tier. And then we have Zootopia and Princess and the Frog in S tier.
Okay. I have nothing in either Chicken Little or Dud, which is good. Which is
Yeah,
very
I didn't
good.
have anything in my bottom two either.
Awesome. Awesome. But that still leaves Princess and the Frog and Winnie the Pooh in the IT tier. We have Wreck-It Ralph, Big Hero 6, Frozen, and Zootopia in the Respect and Appreciate tier, and Moana and Tangled in the Mushiz tier.
Mm-hmm. We can respect each other.
I don't think we're very different people with this one.
Yeah, this one is not nearly as divisive, I dare say.
Well, I think it's because we both know what good movies look like. So
Yeah.
like
And I mean, like, the only one that's, like, really different is Princess and the Frog and Tangled.
But I guess with that, we'll close out with my final question. How do you think the films of the revival era influence the way that the Walt Disney Studios produces films to this day? This
Well,
one should be a doozy.
they killed off 2D animation for sure.
Yeah.
Like the traditional animation. And I feel like with this era especially, they started getting into more diverse stories that they wanted to tell. You know,
Mhm.
with Tiana, Moana, Norwegian people. Big
The
Hero
Sami were
6.
still on the fence about them, but Norwegian people, yes.
Norwegian people. And then of course Big Hero 6 with its very diverse cast. Um, I feel like they really wanted to I mean they still do, but they want to focus on diversity and telling more stories that can apply to people other than white.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
I think that's my main takeaway from this era.
Mhm.
Also woman.
Also, also woman. Also gaslight geeky girl boss.
Of course.
Yes. Um I would say that a certain type of Disney filmmaker got the boot during this era, and a new kind came in the sense that we're still trying to make Disney movies that are familiar to people in terms of their vibe, in terms of the brand and stuff like that. But this is the one where we are really like aggressively trying to make movies for today's generation of young people. And that can either be a blessing or a curse. Frozen. But yeah, Disney, it's the same, but it's more different than the same.
Yeah.
All right, well, anything else to add before we close out?
I don't think so. Except that you're a pussy.
And woman.
and woman. And we end it on woman.
And pussy in no particular order. We just throw those two random words out there.
They're just out there in the ether.
I feel like I'm gonna lose a lot of my like amateur historian cred from these kinds of discussions. But I'm willing to forsake it for having a good time.
Look, if you ever do anything, I'll help you earn it back if you do anything about the Disney parks.
Okay.
I know lots about the parks.
That appeals to its own group of people, and they're not really movie people, so I don't know.
It's still Disney though. It's still Disney though.
It is, but I don't want the influencers to come after me. So
look, I already dropped. Look, some of it can connect. Some of it can connect to the movies, like Dinosaur.
Oh my god.
I'm surprised more people don't know about that, but it's fine.
I'm not surprised at all. So it's fascinating, but I'm not surprised. All right. Well, I guess until next time, have a magical day, everybody.
Bye.